I'm angry. I'm angry at what happened. They took away 8 years of my life. They hurt people that loved me.
Eyewitness identification is not perfect, in fact, far from it.
That's been the basic problem all along. People have the wrong theory about how memory works.
It took a toll on everybody.
All right, love, I know you're nervous. Just have a good look and take your time.
You're probably familiar with scenes like these in movies and television shows. Eyewitnesses, or victims of a crime, are presented with a lineup of possible wrongdoers. More commonly, it's done with photos.
A lineup has one suspect who the police think did the crime and 5 people who they know didn't do the crime.
The eyewitness is asked to pick out the culprit, but this procedure is not error-proof.
It sounds perfectly reasonable, but you have to be careful about how you do it because it's easy to do it in such a way that you'll get an incorrect response, and you don't want an incorrect answer. You want accurate eyewitness memory.
In the United States, eyewitness misidentification is one of the leading causes of why people go to prison for crimes they did not commit. And in the last 2 decades, the number of exonerees released after being wrongfully imprisoned has nearly tripled.
My case is a classic case of mistaken identification.
In 2006, Uriah Courtney was convicted of charges involving the 2004 rape of a minor.
A man had attacked her from behind to claim that she didn't get a good look at the guy's face. She picked my photo out of a 6-pack photo lineup, but she also identified 2 other individuals, so she was uncertain.
Despite the victim's uncertainty, Uriah was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison.
When eyewitnesses tell you they're not sure early on, believe them that they're at high risk of making an error.
Professor Wickstead is talking about the confidence scale. When an eyewitness demonstrates high confidence about their choice of a suspect, they're most likely to be correct.
The lay public makes the mistake of paying attention to confidence months or years later at trial, where the witness gets on the stand and says, "I'm confident that's the guy who did it." At that time, confidence is not that informative. They may have seen the photo of the perpetrator many times by the time they get to trial. Their memory is contaminated by then.
Confidence is one of 5 practices to the lineup procedure, now being adopted by some law enforcement agencies. The other practices include filming the procedure, blind administration of the lineup by an officer not familiar with the case, reading to the eyewitness a list of instructions that state the suspect may or may not be among the lineup, and that the others in the lineup resemble the witness's description of the perpetrator. Until 2017, legal standards for the procedure varied widely across the United States. Other countries have also tightened up. In the UK, they no longer do so-called identity parades.
We want to make sure that in cases based in whole or in part on eyewitness identification, that we do everything in our power to minimize the risk of a wrongful identification.
State Senator Scott Wiener has drafted a bill in California that will adopt the federal procedures for eyewitness lineups.
It's just terrible for the whole system, and it's bad for public safety. If you are wrongfully convicting an innocent person, then there's a guilty person out committing crimes. It's in everyone's interest to correctly identify the people that we are sending to jail.
It's utterly devastating. I mean, to be told that you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison, it's even worse when you know it's for a crime that you didn't commit.
Uriah was ultimately freed on the basis of DNA evidence. Like him, Rafael Madrigal was misidentified as a suspect of a crime. He was pointed out as a gunman in a drive-by shooting.
They used a picture of me when I was, I believe, 16 years old. At the time of the crime, I was already 25 years old. So, I mean, you figure it's almost a 10-year-old picture.
Doing a photo lineup with an inaccurate photo is not good. What we're trying to do here, more than anything, is standardize how law enforcement agencies do either live lineups or photo lineups.
The eyewitness also said the suspect looked like Rafael, except Rafael's skin was lighter.
Because of this picture, this process that you guys have, this broken process, I lost 10 years of my life.
When you have people who spend years in prison for a crime they didn't commit, it can destroy their life, it can destroy the lives of their families.
In 2017, 139 people were exonerated from prison after serving time for crimes they did not commit. The National Registry of Exonerations has tracked more than 2,000 releases in the last 20 years.
I lost, I guess, some sense of innocence about people and life in general. Those are difficult things to get back. I mean, it kind of stole a part of my soul, I guess.
He's very sweet and kind. I just want to cry.